Hey guys, so this video is an experiment in making some content with a faster turnaround rate than I'm usually able to get with my regular content, where I'm sort of just yapping about some topic that I kind of just want to talk about, not really a review or an analysis or something. This is more like a first impressions or just an opinion piece on something I want to just chew your ear on for a bit. It's just a sort of loosely scripted ADHD stream of consciousness, so I'm really sorry if this sucks. This isn't replacing my edited higher effort content, but it is supplemental to it, so there's something out in between my more high effort videos. Normally I wouldn't ask, but please let me know what you think about this content. Considering that this is like substantially lower energy than my usual stuff, I kind of want to know if I should just kill this now, if everyone hates it and doesn't want to hear me being lame and low effort for however long this video is. So I watched the Warhammer Skulls showcase, and I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed with it. It was, in my opinion, just not a great showcase overall. Like, all of it was just stuff we already knew about, and DLC or updates for stuff that's already out. Except for two things, I want to say. I think it was two, and we'll get to those when we get to those. And I understand that Skulls is not E3. There's no reason for companies to show their big Warhammer projects when they could save it for a more high-profile event. I think Xbox actually has an event coming in June that would make a lot more sense for people to showcase their stuff there. But it still sucks to see Skulls as just such a nothing for about an hour or so. And there was really only one reveal at the end, and we'll get to that when we get to that I was actually super hyped for. But I kind of just want to talk about Skulls and what I thought about it. And we're going to go in list of reveals, except for the first one because I'm counting it as a split reveal. They revealed the first part of it and then the second part at the very end, because I really think that shows how just little content they had for this. So if I just skip something, like I'm going to do with all the damn 40k card games, just assume I have nothing to say about it besides it exists, or that it was just an absolute nothing burger of an announcement. So I don't know why the showcase opened with a trailer for the next edition of Age of Sigmar for some reason, and I think they just did this to fill some time. I mean, it's a cool trailer, and I guess the whole purpose of the event is to just generally promote Warhammer, but I don't know, it just kind of felt weird, especially for an event about video games, and especially doubly so, because there was, like, nothing for Age of Sigmar here. Like, this was all, like, 40k, and I think some fantasy stuff. And even then, just updates for fantasy stuff, like I said. There was nothing for Age of Sigmar in this showcase. Nothing I remember, anyway. Someone's probably going to correct me in the comments that there was Age of Sigmar stuff showed off here. Anyway, Raul Coley, I really hope I pronounced that right, as a host, I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's a charismatic guy. It's cool to have a celebrity dude that's into Warhammer. Very cool. But I really found that his audio was just super scuffed sounding.
Hello and welcome to the Warhammer Skulls 2024 showcase. I'm Raul Coley.
It sounded like he was talking through a, like, Xbox Live, not Xbox Live, but like, it sounded like he was talking through a headset microphone over Skype. A good headset microphone, mind you. Nothing like super cheap that you'd pick up at Walmart for like 15 bucks. And I don't know, I kind of expected that he would sound a little bit more clear than he did. I think I remember him sounding better in the last Skulls showcase he hosted, which I think was in 2023. But I don't know, maybe stuff changes. Also, saying he was a host is a really generous statement. He kind of just showed up 4 times, maybe 5, I think, between announcements to go, wowee, those are some cool games, and we have more coming, so stick around. Calling this a host is just, I don't know, I think a little too generous, but whatever. It's nice to have him around. I liked having him more than he was there, so it's cool. It's cool. So the first preview that we really had was for Space Marine 2, and it still feels really weird to me that we're actually getting this game. Like, actually for real this year. We're like 4 months away from it, because I feel like we've just been seeing trailers forever for it, and I'm still looking forward to it. But at this point, like, holy shit, I just want the game to be out, because I am so sick and tired of just seeing trailers for games for the game at this point. I am so tired of just seeing trailer after trailer for Space Marine 2. Like, I really hope it's good, but I just fucking want it to be out. And I think they're running out of stuff to show in the trailers because it was just on the co-op mode, and there was nothing about the story for this, except I think Titus was there at the beginning. And the co-op mode looks cool. And this is also covering the other half of it as well, where they showed off the multiplayer, which I guess is sort of in the co-op because they're both multiplayer. And that looks fine as well. It looks like it'll be just as good as Space Marine 1's multiplayer is, and I really hope they fixed like the server queuing issue where Space Marine 1 had, where you couldn't just queue for a game in general, you had to pick a specific map and game mode, I think, which basically just meant unless you picked the one that everyone was playing, you would find nothing. Co-op looked cool. I'm always a big fan of co-op in games. I like it whenever it's its own separate mode, and it doesn't get too into the campaign. Though I did think we would have an option for a co-op campaign, mostly because I think Titus is going around with like 2 of his buddies in all the trailers we're seeing for him. So I expected that we would be able to do a 3-player co-op as well. And also 3 players kind of a weird number for co-op. I don't know why. It's such a strange number. Apex did that as well for its co-op, where it's 3-player and that's it, there's no 4th. So at the very least, you get to find out whether you're the 4th wheel in your group of friends or not if you have Space Marine 2. So it is providing that essential service for us, which is wonderful to see, I guess. New VR game. This is the one that like actually made me mad, because I thought this would be like, oh wow, a cool VR tie-in to Space Marine. Maybe you can get on like the MetaQuest store and then a later release on Steam. But no, it looks like it's going to be a release for like those VR centers that you'd find in like a mall. I was gonna say a slightly upscale mall, but I mean just a mall in general at this point. So yeah, I hope it comes to a mall near me, because I guess I'd like a Space Marine experience. But also, I kind of just want a Space Marine VR game, and this I feel clickbaited by this. Like, it kind of pisses me off. It's just like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. Maybe I'm way too mad about this. I'm probably way too mad about this. Speed Freaks! Beta is out for it, apparently. I have yet to play it at time of recording. I'm gonna try and play it before I can get this video out. And if I do play it, I'm gonna put some text on the screen, whether I think it's good, it's bad, or it's mid. It's a beta, so that might not be reflective of it. It's really cool, though, to see orcs getting their own games. Orcs are kind of just a race that's getting their own stuff. You have Daka Squadron, you have Shoot His Blood and Teeth, and now you have this out, and that's more games to themselves than like a lot of other 40k races have, which is cool. I don't know. I like orcs. Orcs are what got me into 40k. Speed Freaks also looks really cool. It looks like a spiritual successor to Twisted Metal, which I think hasn't had a game in a while. So if anyone out there likes Twisted Metal, then here you go. Here's your orc variant of it. Though that being said, my main experience with Twisted Metal is just watching other people play it. So I don't really know all too much about it. But yeah, Speed Freaks looks good. Though, you know, not new, but always good to see more stuff on it. Total War Warhammer 3 stuff. I don't really play much or any Total War Warhammer 3 because I don't have it. I did like Total War Warhammer 2. It was a lot of fun. It's what got me into Warhammer Fantasy, and is the reason why my most complete Warhammer army is a 1,000 point 8th edition Night Goblin list that I built and painted over the span of, I want to say, 6 months for a friend of mine's wedding so we could play Warhammer Fantasy. But also, this is kind of just a nothing. I had to ask my friend that plays a lot of Total War Warhammer 3 about it, and Thrones of Decay has apparently been out for a while now, so I don't know why they're opening it with that. But Karanak is cool, a free legendary lord. That's never a bad thing, I guess. So go play Karanak. Fleshhounds, I think, are always neat, and I do appreciate the corn dogs. I like them. They're all good boys. And it's cool to have one with 3 heads. And you can really tell how little I have to say about this. Rogue Trader Void Shadows DLC. I still need to finish Rogue Trader. I do still like it a lot. It was one of my favorite games of 2023, but I haven't finished it. I'm not going to tell where I am, so you little rats don't post spoilers in the comments. I'm kidding. But really, I haven't gotten around to finishing it just because, like, I have so little patience for the CRPGs, and I honestly kind of really picked it up because Warhammer, and I like Warhammer. It's the same reason why I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 yet and really have no interest in doing so. But Void Shadows looks alright. I like seeing Genestealer cults. They're cool. I like all the 40k races, but Genestealer cults are really cool, and I'm hoping that fighting them is going to be fun. The Death Cult Assassin, it's whatever. don't really find Death Cult Assassins all that cool. The Imperial Death Cults are kind of just like a little bit weird for me, and I'm kind of mid on them. Though, I guess they changed the release date for it, because apparently it's coming in August, and speaking to a friend of mine before the reveal, when we were sort of asking what we'd see at Skulls, he said it was going to come out in June, so I guess there's some stuff they had to do with it. But either way, I'm sure Void Shadows is going to be just fine, just peachy, and probably they're ironing out whatever kinks they need to work out on it. Battle Sector, that's a game I actually feel like I should have gotten years ago, but I just didn't for some reason. And Tau are cool. They're fine. They're good. Glad that they're in there. I feel like I should check out Battle Sector. It's currently on sale on Steam, so if I want to get it now's probably a great time to get it. But one thing I actually think is really cool for this is the map editor. I'm a big fan of map editors in any game that they have. I like players being able to create their own custom environment, and this is really cool. But it kind of feels like a sort of end-of-life thing that comes out. Like, we've already put whatever else we can put in the game. Throw in a fucking map editor, whatever. But I guess they haven't put in whatever else, because after Tau, Imperial Guard are coming. And I really like Imperial Guard. They're my main force on the tabletop. So I guess now is a really great time to get into Battle Sector if I want to. I really hope they add like Krieg options for Guard, because I'm that motherfucker. I play Krieg. Oh boy. I actually forgot about the COD crossover. Like, genuinely, it was kind of big when it broke, but I really just forgot about it. I haven't played COD in years, and frankly, I really hate how, like, actually cool all the skins look. There's way too much effort into this. Like, what the fuck? Why is there so much effort put into this? I hate to be the dude that, like, rags on him, but, like, Fat Shark, what are you doing? How is Activision and, I don't know, Treyarch? Is Treyarch working on the new one? I don't know who's working on the new COD. I haven't played it in forever. My last one was Black Ops 3, and years after Black Ops 3 came out. I really don't want to get back into COD, but this is tempting me. It's tempting me too much. It's tempting me too much. If Warhammer will cross over with Call of Duty, then oh boy, sky's the limit for whatever crap they can get me into. I look forward to 2025 when we have our Fortnite update out, and I can make Marnius Calgar hit the sickest gritty of all time. Bolt gun stuff! I like Bolt Gun, and I'm really happy it's getting DLC. And I'm also happy that it's a substantial DLC with new enemies and weapons and levels, because the way this was framed, I was kind of just really worried that this would just be a new level pack, and I really didn't want that, because I feel like Bolt Gun was perfectly in its welcome with the weapons that it had, and I think that just being like, hey, here's like 5 more levels would have made it feel a little bit worn out by the time it ended. I do think that a big issue that Bolt Gun had is that its arsenal was just kind of a little lackluster. Like, I think everything after the plasma gun, I want to say, ain't really too great. I like the bolter, I like the shotgun, I like the plasma gun. I'm a little iffy on the meltagun, but the Volkite caliber and I think the grav cannon. Oh no, the Vengeance Launcher was good as well. I like the Vengeance Launcher. The Grav Cannon was just disappointing as hell. But yeah, honestly, this is probably going to get its own video. Probably another one like this, if I can. Or maybe a higher effort one when it comes out. Who knows? But this will get covered in some way or another. But Bolt Gun stuff looks cool. Also, there's a free Endless Horde mode out for it, and it's free. I haven't played it yet. I'll put it on the screen if I play it. I might not even play it just because like it's a free Horde mode. I know it's going to be fine. I like Bolt Gun's gameplay, so I'll probably like this. Bolt Gun's great. I like Bolt Gun. Go play Bolt Gun if you haven't played Bolt Gun. Vermintide 2. Cool. Vermintide didn't click for me as much as Fat Shark's follow-up to it, which we will get to. And a lot of this video is mostly just Joachim? I hope I pronounced that right. Joakim. Going over the history of this game, which is neat to see, and sort of showing... Well, they didn't really show as much of the history of updates, but letting us know what they're doing now. And for the Skulls event, which is really cool, and not like the Skulls event that Darktide had, which we'll fucking get to that. Skulls event for Vermintide adds a bunch of quality of life stuff and some new weapon skins. And I feel like there's a third thing that I'm missing. I think there's like a challenge or something going on. I don't know the name of it. I don't think I have Vermintide 2 installed, but cool. Glad to see it. Versus mode, I think is really cool. I don't think I'm going to play it because I think Vermintide was kind of a game that was renowned for having a little bit of a toxic, shitty community, and I can only imagine how fun that will be in Versus. Maybe it'll be like fun to hop on with the fellas and play over Discord probably, but I would rather rip my toenails out than queue with randoms for for Vermintide 2 Versus. I really liked Left 4 Dead 2's Versus, and I'm glad to see another game sort of pick up the torch and do it in a similar vein. Far better than Left 4 Dead's spiritual successor did, Back 4 Blood. Good update for Vermintide 2. Cool. Glad to know there's more stuff coming down the pipeline for that game. Though I find it a little bit weird that this game is kind of getting into its sunset years, and I feel like at this point Fat Shark should be like winding it down a little bit, but it just keeps getting more stuff. And maybe they're just adding the last stuff that the community wanted before sort of just quietly shuttering the development of this game, which would make sense. Okay, this is the part where I start being mean to Fat Shark because Darktide got a trailer and fuck you. There's like absolutely nothing to this trailer. It was by far, I think, like the shortest one that they had during the whole showcase. So I'm probably gonna have to supplement in like another Darktide trailer or gameplay of Darktide. Or just leave the screen blank in protest. Fuck, fire on the screen. It's awful. I'm on fire on the screen. I'm self-immolating in protest so that Darktide can get a better development team. Wow, just holy shit, they dropped the ball on this trailer. I just thought there wasn't really much to get and that we were like, oh, hey, it's a cool teaser for an update that's out now. No, it's out June 25th, which, okay, whatever. Maybe they still didn't have much to show for it. No, because they announced on their website they have more for it, and this is a great update. They're updating the crafting, which they call indexing for some reason, but whatever. I'm sure that's nothing to worry about. But they're also adding new, I think, two-handed Ogryn weapons, and I don't know if these are separate things. They're adding power mauls and pickaxes as melee weapons, a double-barreled shotgun, and a bolt pistol. And you couldn't put that in the trailer? You couldn't put that in the trailer. Why? You couldn't have even just had some guy show up and be like, hey, we're adding all this cool stuff to Darktide. I really like Darktide. It's my favorite 40k game. It's so good. The moment-to-moment gameplay is fantastic, but Fat Shark seems to not want it to be good. Like, they learned nothing from Vermintide 2. And it's infuriating. I don't know why Vermintide 2 gets such a good dev team, and Fat Shark gets, like, not even the B team, like, the C team on this. Like, seriously. Oh my god. Okay, this is the only other part of the thing that actually made me upset, because after the Darktide reveals, I saw Cubicle 7 flash on the screen, and I audibly gasped because I thought, oh my god, we're finally going to get more information about the first expansion to Imperium Maledictum. And no, we aren't. I'm stupid. This is announcing the Darktide card game. Surprise! You thought me yelling about Darktide was over! I'm not done yet. What? Games Workshop is so supportive of this game, and it's so weird to see them be going like the extra mile, or not even really the extra mile, because haha, Darktide board game. But it's getting a card game. It has a bunch of merch on their store. Everything. GW is throwing so much into this game, and Fat Shark's just like, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I feel like I got clickbaited, and this should have been more information about the first splat book for Imperium Maledictum, but it's not, and we still don't have any information regarding that, so oh well. And I don't know why I was expecting Splatbook info at a video game event, but okay, cool. You can reveal a card game. Fuck you. Blood Bowl 3. Blood Bowl 3 is apparently still very bad, but it's very bad and now has a necromancy team being added. I really hope they're able to polish it up because I like Blood Bowl a lot. Like, just even the tabletop game Blood Bowl, I really like. I think it's just Games Workshop just being as goofy as they can and goofy in a way that really works. I like Blood Bowl. I gotta finish painting my Blood Bowl teams, and also it allows for some of the most gorgeous sculpts that Games Workshop makes. Oh yeah, also there's a Wilhelm scream in the trailer, like right at the beginning. I'm gonna cut it in here if I can. I just, like, it's so obvious. Why even put it in there? I had never heard of Talisman until today. This was one of the 2 new things I heard of. It's just an announcement that it's happening. The Talisman 5th edition is happening. I didn't know that Talisman was a Games Workshop game. It's one of those things I'd always seen on Steam and kind of had just assumed that it was just like its own sort of tabletop adaptation of stuff that, like, we're making our own tabletop game. We'll just put it on Steam and call it Talisman or something. And it's a tabletop game, but really it's a video game and never really existed as a physical thing. It looks cool. I picked up the free version of it because the current edition of Talisman is free on Steam. I don't know if it's still free on Steam at the time of this video's publication. I'll put a thing on the screen if it is, and I'll probably play that. Once again, if I do play it, I'll put text on the screen if I like it or not. If I don't play it, I'll just put I didn't play it on the screen, or maybe a funny picture, who knows. A fucking chair. It's a fucking chair. It's a nice chair, I guess, but it's still a fucking chair. It's the ultramarine gamer chair. Not a cursed phrase, but a phrase I never thought I'd say. And I have to say, I really think these guys dropped the ball on it. In Warhammer 40k, there is a certain chair that is the iconic chair of Warhammer 40k that you could make as a gamer chair, and I think would actually be a funny enough product that a lot of Warhammer fans would go, haha, no way this is real, and then they'd go, oh wait, wow, it's actually real, and I can buy it and own it for probably either less or more than they're thinking of. I didn't check the price for this. I'm sure it's absolutely outrageous. But anyway, you dropped the ball by not making this the Golden Throne and making it just generic ultramarine chair. I'm glad to see what Marnius Calgar sits in when he plays fucking Valorant, but like, come on, you could have made this the Golden Throne. Everyone would love this if this was the Golden Throne and not the Blueberry Gamer chair. Mechanicus 2! Mechanicus 2. I did not expect this at all. You can play as Necrons in it. You get a choice whether or not you can play as the Mechanicus or Necrons. It's available to wishlist on Steam. I don't remember when it's coming out. I think it's coming out in 2024. It might be coming out in 2025. But still, Mechanicus 2. I think Mechanicus is one of the best 40k games that we have, and I am just amped to see a sequel for it. Like, I wouldn't say this alone makes up for everything else that was kind of like just disappointing about Skulls. It's one hell of a reveal. I'm looking forward to Mechanicus 2, and I'm also looking forward to probably how much of a baller soundtrack that it's going to have as well. Guillaume, I can't remember the rest of his name, I'm really sorry, did a killer job with the soundtrack for the first game. It really changed how 40k music kind of sounds, at least clearly influenced how Darktide sounds, and I'm looking forward to that as much as I'm looking forward to playing more Mechanicus, because Mechanicus was great, and I'm looking forward to 2. There's a couple things I wish that they changed. I kind of want them to remove the awakening meter, because I really hate it when games put me on like a time limit and there's nothing I can really do to mitigate that. It's always ticking up, which is one of the reasons I don't really like Fallout 1 all that much, because it puts me on a time limit, so I can't play the game at my own pace. And I understand why some games do that, but I don't like it. I don't like the sort of artificial constrained time limit. I get that it's thematic, but I don't like it. And thankfully, Mechanicus 1 has an option to disable the meter, or at least severely reduce how fast it goes up. Yeah, just Mechanicus 2. It also looks like it's not just set in a Tomb World anymore, which is nice. It looks to be on an Imperial world that Necrons are either rising up on or invading, which will be neat to see. Maybe it's the same world, Silva Tenebris, I want to say, from Mechanicus 1, which means, I guess, if it is the same world, or if we are with the same cast, which we may or may not be, we'll get to figure out what ending to Mechanicus is canon. Mechanicus 2! Looking back at what I had to say about the whole thing, I guess Skulls isn't as disappointing as I made it sound to begin with, but just sort of, I feel like there was just such a lack of highlights for the whole thing. Like, everything was just kind of low energy and kind of meh, and there were a couple things that just drug me down that kind of ruined the whole mood of it, except for, like, Mechanicus 2 at the end. Shit, I'm still really excited for that. I can't believe we're getting a sequel to Mechanicus, and I can't believe it was revealed at, like, the worst Skulls that I've seen so far. But I feel like just comparing this to other Skulls events, just kinda, it's nothing, you know? Like, it's just nothing burger. I feel like last year's Skulls, we got some cool content revealed at least, and 2022 I actually think is the best one in recent memory. Like, we got a ton of new games showed off. Darktide, I'm pretty sure, got, like, a cool trailer in that one, and that revealed Shooter's Blood and Teeth, as well as Bolt Gun, which, good game. Go play Bolt Gun. Go play Bolt Gun. Or go watch my video on Bolt Gun as well, that's also an option. But, I don't know, I just feel like this is just such a lackluster Skulls after, I guess, everything else that we've had so far for it, that it just kind of feels like, hey, here's what we got, not really much going on, which is kind of reflective of the games industry as a whole right now. I really feel like there's nothing going on with the games industry, but that's a topic for another day. Mechanicus 2 at the end. Ultramarine Gamer Chair. Thank God for the Ultramarine Gamer Chair. I'm glad we have that. If you had opinions on Skulls 2024 that are either the same as mine or reflect my objectively correct opinion, or differ from mine, in which case you're wrong, but not really, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. And also, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you like this style of in-between higher effort stuff, whatever, I don't know, let me know. Leave a comment. If you don't like it, leave a comment saying how much you hate it and how you never want me to do this type of video again. But that's that. I'm gonna go buy myself an Ultramarine Gamer Chair. See you losers on McCrag.